everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I'm here with my weekly WIP and Chat. If you're new or aren't sure what that means, WIP stands for Work in Progress, and Chat just means we are going to spend some time together today chatting and catching up on life and crafting and all those sorts of things. So feel free to pull out a project to work alongside me if you like. I'm going to be working on a diamond painting today as usual. You're welcome to craft alongside me or treat this like a podcast or, whatever works. I'm just looking forward to spending the next hour or so chatting and catching up with you. So I'm going to be working on, like I said, a diamond painting today. Did I keep the sticker nearby? I sure did. This is what I was kidding up with you guys in last week's WIP and Chat, and that is The Universe in a Jar. This is by Randall Spangler, and I've had this kit since summer of 2020 and decided to work on it this month as my dragon kit for the month of August. I have been working on one dragon kit a month each month in the year 2024 because it is the year of the dragon in the Lunar New Year, cycle. So I love all things dragons. This really was just an excuse for me to get to work on some of the dragon diamond painting kits in my stash. And this was you've heard me probably mention it a lot if you've been here before, but this was my first rainy day kit that I just really was loving for whatever reason and didn't want to necessarily work on right away. I wanted to save and savor it and work on it when the time felt right or when it felt, special. So it felt like the timing was right for this one. So this is what we're working on. And so I started at the bottom and have been working my way up. And so we're flipped upside down. You can kind of see this is the end of the telescope right here. So we're gonna be opening up this section right next to this. So I have like this row and then these two sections left to go on the kit. So as far as my accessories go and what I'm using today, this pen is from, I believe, Candylicious Pens on Facebook. And then the tray is from Munimade. It's in one of they call them magic colors or color shift. I can't remember. I think this is one of the magic ones. I think it's Lagoon. And then this cover minder is from Galloway's Gallery. The wax that I'm going to be using in my single placer, that's just a sticker. This is in the scent Jen's Savvy Sunshine. It's Not Your Mama's Mud. The Etsy shop is called Whimsical Daisies. And then I'm going to be using, really on theme, Starlight Dot Putty from Butterfly Effect Wares in my multi-placer. So let me get everything kind of freshly loaded up in this pen, and we'll open up this section and get to work. So I am using, as always, a thin metal multi-placer from Diamond Art Club. In the end of my pen, I tend to use a 12 placer. That just is my go-to. I'm trying to remember, did Diamond Art Club release a 15? I actually can't remember that off the top of my head. A 15 placer, was 12 the biggest. This, I feel like I've been using this size multi-placer, and it's just my sweet spot for multi-placing and sort of being able to pick out that number of colors and whatnot. I'm trying to remember if I've used this dot putty before. It's fun when the putties are themed in such a way, or waxes are themed in such a way that I can match them to the theme of the canvas. Looks like I have used this one before. I don't know what that smell exactly is. I'm not very good at identifying it, but I do know that Butterfly Effect Wares, when it comes to their putties, does list like the scent profile. I'm always a little bit wary when I go to load putty up into my pen, because every once in a while I'll see someone post about how they're hard placers and they've like bent these thinner metal multi-placers, because I think they are just generally very, very thin. I love that they're very thin because it makes it a lot easier, in my opinion, to multi-place really effectively and be able to see like where you're placing. That just doesn't feel like that went terribly deep. I may need to load just a little bit more. I'm gonna need to load just a little bit more in there. And so I'm always wary when I'm loading up my putty, because like I'm trying to put like a good cut in the putty so it cuts off cleanly. But I also absolutely don't want to bend these metal multi-placers, because they're more expensive than the plastic placers. But it's because metal costs more than plastic, I'm sure. But anyway, it was just a random tangent. I have never bent one of mine, and I only have like 4 or 5 that I rotate through. I just move them from pen to pen. I'll just, grab one. And I've never bent one, but I don't think I'm a really hard placer when it comes to diamond painting. So that could, be part of the reason why. as far as my thoughts about working on this kit so far, so I did kit it up with you guys in last week's WIP and Chat, and then I can't remember if I started this one right away, or I think I finished my the other WIP that I had going first. I think I finished Midnight Monokaneko by Jeremiah Kettner. That was a little round drill snack size project that I had decided to kit up and work on so that I would have a little break from squares and confetti. And so that was a really quick, like 24, 48-hour project. And I love the colors in it. It's so fun. And it's also interesting to go from a kit that is like a relatively recent release, and so it has a lot of just generally improvements and upgrades that Diamond Art Club has tried to make over the years, and then to come back to this kit, which again I bought in summer of 2020. It's like that was 4 years ago, and they've made, you know, a lot of changes and improvements since then. And sorry, I was just adjusting the focus there. And I've noticed a lot of ways that that's the case, and I've even been curious, like if I purchased this kit today, because I know it's been restocked at least a couple of times since, you know, the initial release, and even, you know, relatively recently, I wonder if this would have some of those improvements. I don't think that they would have necessarily changed the rendering. There are things about the rendering that I look at and go, oh, this isn't sort of as clean as I'm used to Diamond Art Club doing renderings now. It's, you know, I notice some of those kind of little things. But I wonder if they tightened up the drill field. I would assume you also get like the higher quality square drills that Diamond Art Club has now, because these drills, you know, they don't have tons of quality issues. There's a couple of colors that are a little bit obnoxious to work with. I knew that's what I was getting into. I think I shared that with you guys when we were kitting this up last week, that I just was like, visually these look okay, but I just am not going to know until I start putting diamonds on the canvas. What I'm running into, though, more than drill quality issues, like I'm not running into a ton of trash. I am running into like a couple of colors I'm a little nervous about running low on, because I'm picking out, you know, the little trash that is there. It just feels like, did they maybe not give quite as much extra with this one, or am I just being paranoid? More than anything, what I've been running into, though, is some gapping, because this was before Diamond Art Club really, they made some improvements to their drill field. They improved the quality of their squares, and then they were able to go, okay, well, the quality is so consistent. This is just my guess, actually. I don't know if this is actually what their thought process was. But in my mind, the logical way to imagine they thought of it was, okay, now we have our square drill quality really consistent, so we can go ahead and tighten up that drill field because we don't have to allow for as much in the way of trash drills. So that's just what I imagine happening. So all that to say, now I'm dealing with a canvas that has a bit more in the way of gapping. If I am laying down a color in this section that I feel like is a good example, I'll be sure to point it out to you. Otherwise, I will definitely show an up close of it when I do either a post review on this kit or talk about it in my month in review. So either way, I promise here in one of these upcoming videos of mine, you'll get to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I would imagine that they've tweaked and improved that if I had to guess. But this kit has had a lot more confetti than I was expecting. It's actually in such a way that it makes me think, oh, you know, if someone that was at Diamond Art Club, if the Diamond Art Club was rendering this today, I'd imagine this would be a bit cleaner. But like, you can kind of see it over here. Like this background, the sky is a lot of confetti. Between 939 and 823, which are two different shades of dark blue. And it's, I don't know, it almost looks like at first glance you don't necessarily see that those are two different symbols, but they are. So excuse me for yawning. So yeah, some confetti. And have you ever had the experience of, not necessarily when it comes to diamond painting, but anytime in life, have you ever had the experience of you really build something up in your head to be something that you're really excited about, really looking forward to, and then you, without realizing it, or maybe with realizing it, have sort of made your expectations be sky high, and it's almost, you know, it's something that would be kind of impossible for a thing to meet. I will say I'm having that just a little bit with this kit, where I'm not, like, I'm enjoying working on it, but I expected to be like just really obsessed with it and like loving every second of it. And I honestly, that has not totally been the case. And I love to overanalyze things. If you've been here, you know, I love to overanalyze things. I also hate that I overanalyze things, but this is just what I do. But I love sort of trying to think through, oh, I wonder why that is. I wonder what that could be. I wonder what happened, when really it's just like you set your expectations too high. You know, you kept typing this up as, you know, to yourself and to others as, oh my gosh, I just feels like that I'm excited to work on this rainy day kit and it's going to be this amazing, you know, thing. And like I'm enjoying working on it, but it's not like a life-changing experience. It has made me realize that I have this tendency to gravitate sometimes towards art genres or themes that are going to end up being confetti heavy or have areas that aren't as exciting necessarily to work on. For example, I really, for whatever reason, tend to gravitate towards underwater scenes, especially with like mermaids and stuff like that. And you know, a lot of times the way that artwork that is portraying something underwater, the way that it's rendered, because of like all the color shading, and if there's greenery under the water, like algae or whatever, seaweed, there is often a lot of confetti in underwater scenes. And it's the same thing when it comes to scenes that depict like things with outer space in them. And just like diamond painting outer space to me is not terribly exciting. So I have found parts of this to be more tedious than I expected. I also admit that I think part of this is that I would really, really love to be working on the next panel of my cross-stitch conversion. And so I've had a little bit of an attitude of, I just would love to get through this quickly so that I can get some time in on my cross-stitch conversion before Drills and Chills starts. And I'm, you know, staring a little bit down the clock. I'm, you know, the calendar is where September is right there. We're right about there. So at best, I'm going to have a few days to work on my cross-stitch conversion before Drills and Chills is really kicking into gear. And that's, you know, that's really fine. But I think that probably is part of where it's coming from. I think maybe I'm afraid of losing momentum on my cross-stitch conversion and just, yeah. So all this to say, like, I'm really enjoying how this is turning out. But I wasn't 100% expecting that I would kind of like a little bit have a meh reaction to parts of working on this. But I am still really enjoying it. I love stepping back and looking at the artwork as it's, you know, completed. I think even since, 4 years ago, Diamond Art Club has just done a really nice job with rendering Randall Spangler's artwork. I feel like it's just always been a really, really good fit. So I don't know, this feels a little bit like kind of going back to my roots. I feel like I worked on a lot of Randall Spangler kinds of kits early on when I started diamond painting, so this is a fun throwback. But yeah, it's kind of been my thoughts with working on this kit, and a reminder to myself to try not to build things up in my head and set the bar super, super high and set myself up for disappointment. Just, you know, be realistic sometimes, and that's okay to do. But yeah, this is coming along, and I do anticipate that I'll finish it in the next couple of days, and I'll just kind of wait and see. It's a very busy season right now, like the next week or two. There's a lot of things going on that will just feel very busy, and there's part of me that goes, maybe I should just take a little breather from diamond painting and just focus on getting various things done that need to get done. For example, like I said, September 1st is around the corner, and that means that Drills and Chills is around the corner. I am co-hosting Drills and Chills again this year, and there's a lot that I want to try to get done here in the next week leading up to the event kicking off. We'll have done, unless something changes last minute, our current plan is to do a kickoff video on September 1st like we've done in the past, and so you'll have seen that before this video goes up, I believe, because I think that'll be on Sunday, and that'll just be kicking off the event, and then we're off to the races. So I'm excited for it to kick off, but I also am like, I hope that I can do a good job. I hope that I can be like a good host. And I've been struggling a lot with sort of staying in a routine. It's been hard, like with having the kids home from school. It's just, there's a lot, like obviously I'm focusing on them and they're getting a lot of my time and attention. That's just made it kind of difficult for me to get things done during the day. And then at the end of the day, I'm pretty wiped out, and I am trying to like practice some self-care while also like getting some productive things done too. So I've struggled, I'll admit, this past month to find that balance, and I haven't done a very great job of it, but I'd love to just get into a better routine and flow of things here in the next week, especially leading up to drills and chills and the school year starting and everything. I think that would that would be helpful. But I haven't decided yet. Is this terrible? I haven't decided yet what kit I want to start off drills and chills with. I think I know what I would like to work on. I have a really cute little, it's more of a fall themed kit than Halloween. It's what's the name of it? It's a little kitten under an umbrella, like an orange umbrella, and there's like fall leaves all around it. It's by Marilyn Casanave, and it's from Diamond Art Club. It's a cute little kit. I can't remember if it's a partial drill or a full drill kit, but I think that would be really cute to kick off the event with. I do enjoy if I'm able to not just work on Halloween themed kits. I love finding specifically more fall, like seasonally fall kits to work on too. But that is very, very tricky because I don't like working on landscapes almost at all. And so I just, it's like I'm trying to find fall theme kits that aren't giant landscapes. So it was funny, you guys, with all these restocks Diamond Art Club has been doing. I found myself looking at these really pretty fall landscapes that had restocked, a lot of them by like Chuck Pinson or Abraham Hunter, and going, those are just so pretty. And then mentally like smacking my hand like, no, you know how this song and dance goes. Absolutely not. But yeah, so just generally though, it does sometimes feel like a little bit of a struggle to be like, but I want to work on something that's fall themed and not really strictly Halloween themed, because I like having that variety, because I think maybe the majority of people for drills and chills do work on Halloween themed kits. I like to represent fall too. So I do also have the Paint Gem mini set for autumn. That one may be one that I work on. And I really need to just scan through my Gems Flow app and see what else I do have. And I've had some, I really want to be shopping some small shops and our sponsors and everything here over the course of the event too, and work on, some of those kits as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for drills and chills, but I'm like, it's less than a week away. I absolutely need to at least figure out what kit am I kicking off the event with. So, yeah. Is anyone else like me? Have you not decided yet? I feel like I'm really it's terrible because I'm coasting the event. Like I need to get my life together. That's the theme right now. So, I feel like I have so many various things that are running through my head. I'm like, oh, I should chat about this. I should mention this. What is that noise? What is happening with my neighbors? Anyway, I really was excited about sharing my Dragon mini dazzle set this morning. That was a sneak peek that went up today. It's Sunday night that I'm filming this as usual. I just feel like I've been hoping for a Dragon mini set since I realized that mini sets were a thing, and so I'm so happy. That's probably going to be my Dragon kit for September or August, because I'll be working on a lot of event themed kits, and I still want to squeeze in some Dragon themed kits, and I don't think I have any dragons right now that are seasonal that would work for the event too. So not like I did last year when I had that really, really cute Anne Stokes one. So I just want to, I don't know, still fit my dragon kit scene in, even if they're not seasonal. And I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I was excited as well this past week to put up an official cross stitch conversion update video, and you guys are so sweet. You guys regularly blow me away with how kind and encouraging your comments are. I loved reading the comments in response to that video, where I shared, the 6 panels that I've completed, and here's how they look all together. And I did see, it was actually not in the comments on my video, but it was someone had talked about it in another in a Facebook group and was mentioning it. And there were a couple people that were like, I don't understand why you would spend all this time on a kit of this, like a project of this magnitude, and not hang it. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I did see a couple people respond talking about things like product crafters versus process crafters. It's like, I'm sure there are people that are, somewhere in the middle, but some crafters, the idea is that some crafters tend to craft because they just enjoy the process of crafting itself. And there are some people that are crafting because they really want that end product, to see this completed thing that they get to, gift or hang or whatnot. And I am definitely a process person. It's the process of diamond painting or taking on challenging projects. That's rewarding in and of itself for me. And I, if I only worked on diamond paintings that I was going to display in my home, I would have had to stop diamond painting a long time ago, because I don't have the wall space. I'm finishing, multiple kits a month usually. And 4 years in, I would have well and truly run out of wall space at this point. But then there are other people that, they complete 1 or 2 diamond paintings a year. Maybe it's like a pretty landscape that they're then turning around and displaying in their home. I can understand the idea of like, why in the world would you work on a huge project and spend all this time on it, just to turn around and like roll it up and put it under the bed? That I don't get it. Make it make sense. I understand that thought process, but it's because I like the challenge of it. I like being able to hopefully share some learnings with you guys about it. So if you did want to take on a project like that with the intention of displaying it, then maybe I will be able to share something that is going to make that process feel more accessible to you. So, but I was amused. But I loved how several of you suggested like I should reach out to like a local library or something like that. And I might do that. I really like the sentiment behind it, but I have a couple of one main fear about it. I think my main fear about it is that even if I requested that they let me know if they no longer wanted to display it, I'm just afraid that it would get like thrown away, intentionally or not. They just be like, hey, we don't want this anymore. And there's also part of me that like wants to like hold on to it for a little bit in case I need to or want to reference it for something, I guess. I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous to let it leave my hands, but I do think that would be a really nice way to potentially let it bring joy to some others and not just sit rolled up under my bed. So I'm not sure. I really love this sentiment though, and I'm certainly going to keep that in mind. I think I also just don't know. I'm imagining me like bringing this to a local library and being like, hey, I have this thing that's enormous. Like, do you want to display it? And I'm just imagining getting a side eye like, what? No? Like, no, we like curate our own displays. I don't know. I'm picturing that, and the rejection or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit of a pessimist where I just go, I'm envisioning this not going ideally and me just feeling super awkward, or I don't know. But I will, I'll look into it. I will look into it, and I do genuinely appreciate the suggestions. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I very much, though, I like I said, I just want to work on it. I just want to keep working on it. And it is, I think, because the end is, I can see it. I can taste it. When that project is completed, I'm not even going to know what to do with myself. Probably pick out the next big project. Anyway, I, generally speaking, have had a lot of sort of ups and downs. I feel like I'm doing a lot of mental health check-ins lately, and that's I hope it's not too irritating for those of you that just don't care to hear about it. It's just kind of a reality of where I'm at in my life at the moment, as well as, for those of you that might also be in a phase where it's difficult, sometimes it can help to hear someone else share about it. And if it doesn't, and you're like, I just don't want to hear it, it's complete. You're not going to offend me if you click away. But it has been a week with ups and downs. I have been productive in some ways. I've taken care of some, I call it admin-y type stuff. I did submit my request to be excused from jury duty and heard back within 24 hours that, yep, I was excused. It was not an issue. It was thankfully it was very easy. I was almost afraid it was too simple. I was like, but how are they going to know? The full context here, it was there's a little drop down list of reasons that you were requesting to be excused. And one of them had something to do with being the primary caregiver for someone. And then it just asked for the names of the people that those were and what their relation to you was. And then it asked, are you employed or unemployed or retired? That's always a weird one for me to ask or for me to answer. I'm like, well, I'm not employed by someone. I make a little bit from what I do, but it's I'm self-employed, but and then it asks work from home, employed from home or employed in an office. And so I wasn't sure exactly how to answer it, so I just answered it the best that I could. But and it had something to do with in the reasons childcare either is not available or would be a financial hardship and something. So anyway, it was 4 little questions that I responded to, and then within 24 hours I'd gotten it. Okay, you've been excused. So that is a really big stressor off. And it did also help that I felt it felt okay, this is legitimate. I'm not, trying to game the system or anything like that. This is a legitimate reason. The court says it's legitimate. Okay. So, though part of me wonders, I wonder how soon it'll be before I get another summons. Because sometimes it feels like that, if you get an excusal or something that, then you get a new request or new summons, within the minimum amount of time, at the minimum amount of time that they can send it out again. But yes, that's taken care of. I do have an appointment with my doctor this week, which I had sent a message over just to be so I didn't phrase it. I may have talked about this last week. I can't remember the timing of this, but I didn't phrase it I was waiting till you got back so that I knew I'd be talking to you and not the nurse practitioner who told me to meditate away my anxiety. But I worded it instead as, hey, I, reached out to you and, the person I spoke to said to either make an appointment with you or someone else in the practice if I didn't want to wait. And the first available that you had wasn't for another month. And I just wanted to see if you had anything that was available sooner or could, advise by message, by the patient portal or whatever instead. And I did get a call from them the next day that was actually, we had a cancellation. We can see you next week if this date and time works for you. I was yep, absolutely. I will be there. So we'll see what comes of that. I guess kind of depending on how that goes. I'm not sure how much I'll share. I know I've shared a lot just here and now, but we'll see what I feel comfortable sharing as that goes. But took care of that, took care of some stuff that was prep for the kids with back to school and some other just various things that we are trying to have in the works at the moment to kind of help us out with where the stage we're at in our life. So I, have felt good about getting some of those sorts of things done. I have still continued to feel like the Finch app has been helpful. It's encouraging and it's fun. I feel like I really have tried to set myself up for success with that app and not try to set these really lofty goals necessarily that are going to make me feel like a failure if I can't knock them out. But also just get little things in there that'll encourage me to push myself just a little bit when I feel like I can. But no, the app has been I think it's been nice so far for me. It's a self-care app, but one of my favorite parts is waking up to check the app and see, ooh, what are the random items that it stocked in my shop? Is there going to be a cute clothing item that I want to get for my little bird, or is there going to be something cute that I want to use to decorate their room with? Because the like daily shop items are random, and there've been some really cute things. There was like a dragon hoodie that I got the other day, and I just thought, there's dragon clothing in this game? That's so cute. Anyway, so that's my like, oh, Finch is really cute kind of blurb. Not an affiliate. And I do feel like that has been helping in a lot of ways. And then the other day when after I'd finished kitting up this kit with you guys, my WIP and Chat, I was sitting down to go, okay, let me go ahead and start pulling out some matching accessories to go with it, which I haven't been doing as much lately because I haven't been enjoying it. It's felt a little bit more tedious. So I'm like, I just want to get to the diamond painting. I don't want to spend all the time finding matching accessories. I just want to get to the diamond painting. But I thought, okay, one, I miss doing matching accessories, and this kit is special, so I would like to pull a bunch of matching accessories for fun. But also, I really should try to tidy up my desk area at least a little bit. You can probably imagine where this is going. It turned into me doing like a big old desk clean out. I mean, really, the top of my desk was a disaster. It was just piles of stuff. It just collected tons of stuff. There were trays and pens and everything everywhere. But let me try to get this back under control. And I ended up not intentionally having to do more cleaning and organizing than I was expecting when here I was going along, and then I accidentally pulled one of my desk drawers out too far, and it proceeded to spill 90% of the drawer contents all over the floor. So I thought, well, I guess I'm organizing my wax and putty now, because it was the little desk drawer that just had all of my, well, not all, but a lot of my wax and putty. All of my wax and putty won't fit in. There's some of it that's in like a tote in the garage. I do have too much. I should try to go through more. I have just a ton of putty from Miranda's Crafty Corner and a ton of patty wax in particular. And there was just so much. So I was like, okay, let me try to at least organize this, really get a sense for what I have, and then hopefully that'll help me get to a point where I'm like gonna go through it faster. But I like being able to shop my collection to find matching things. I like having a variety of things at my fingertips that just on a whim I can shop what I have and find like, oh, I have the perfect pen that matches. This is also just what happens when you're a bit like me and don't plan really far in advance and stick to that plan. I tend to sometimes decide on a whim or impulsively like what kit I want to work on. Like right now, I haven't decided what Halloween kits I'm going to work on. And so I can't plan far enough ahead to go, okay, I know I'm going to work on this kit next, in 2 months. And so let me go ahead and go and pick up matching accessories that I want or need. So instead I just have plenty in my collections that I can shop from. And I fully acknowledge that this is like, okay, my privilege is showing. I'm not going to argue that whatsoever, but I feel lucky that I'm able to do that I've amassed a little mini collection I can shop from, a little mini store that I can shop from when I want to find matching accessories. So, but no, it did feel good to try to make sense of the disaster that was my desk, and it is. I've managed to keep it tidy since then. We'll see how long it lasts. With small space living, what tends to happen is that it doesn't take a whole lot to derail that, because it just takes, a couple of times there not being something that's like easy to put away in a designated spot or something, and then, gets a little out of control. But I'm going to try to stick with it for as long as I can. For now, my desk it's organized. It's organized. I don't know if you guys saw that Starbucks did release their fall products. I shouldn't just say pumpkin, because there was stuff that was not necessarily pumpkin. Their fall products came out a couple of days ago, and I did go through and I got a pumpkin cream cold brew. I have a little, like, just a little mini hoard of Starbucks gift cards that I'm working my way through very, very slowly, taking my time. I had tried to go and get one, like a couple of days before. Adam and I had tried to do like a special like Starbucks trip, and I really only drink cold brew, and it's not because I'm a coffee snob. I'm really not. It's that cold brew coffee is never heat pressed, and so the acidity level is much lower in it compared to regular coffee or even iced coffee, like traditional iced coffee, which is just hot coffee poured over ice, and so it was still, heat pressed, still has the acidity issues. But cold brew, it's like it doesn't disagree with my stomach. It doesn't give me a bad stomach ache. So that's all that I drink. And wouldn't you know that when we went to go for like our once a month like Starbucks trip, they were like, "Oh, we're out of cold brew, but we can get you a nice coffee or an Americano." And I was like, "No." No thanks. But then it was like, oh, then fall stuff dropped a couple of days later, and I was able to go back and get my pumpkin cream cold brew, and it was delicious, absolutely delicious. So if you enjoy all the fall goodness, and you want like an early preview of it, go check out Starbucks. And Trader Joe's has slowly, at least mine, has started to slowly roll out some of their pumpkin products. I'm waiting for their pumpkin bars to hit the shelves because my kids are obsessed with those, and we will buy those very nearly in bulk because, I mean, to be honest, I love them too. They're so good. They're so good. Pop them in the microwave for a few seconds. Oh my gosh, it's a problem. But I love all their pumpkin stuff. They occasionally, I feel like mine didn't have it as much last year. They will sometimes get pumpkin Kringles. Oh my gosh, so good. So good. Okay, we're talking about food. I can move on from food, but I just it was a little mental and emotional treat for myself was to be able to go to Starbucks and get that fall drink. But speaking of, just grabbing a really quick drink of water, just kind of in the spirit of, we're talking about the end of summer and fall coming up here. We are feeling that theme of the end of summer very keenly over here right now, where my kids start school this week, and I have been counting the hours. I love and adore my kids, and have enjoyed so much about this summer. There have been ways that it has just been really magical and wonderful and special, but I think they are definitely ready for school to be starting back up. Just getting to challenge their brains that much more. I think having that additional support also is really good. I've shared before here that both my kids do have special needs. They're both autistic and get just good, really wonderful support services from our school district, and it helps us. It's not like I'm saying that replaces our parenting at all, but I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't make a really, really big difference, both for us and for our kids, to have that additional support just from people that are professionals, people that this is their specialty, is helping kids sort of learn and grow. And it's the idea that no one should have to, go through things alone in general. So anyway, there's lots of reasons we're looking forward to back to school, and it also feels like we're really one of the last districts to go back. So everyone else has already really shifted into back to school mode, and we're just kind of twiddling our fingers like, well, still not our time yet. I can't tell this. See, this color is pretty trashy. I don't know if you can tell. I can't bring it closer because of how I did the focus, but yeah, there's a lot of trash trails in this particular color, and I'm just I'm trying to pick around it and hoping I'm going to have enough. And I'm afraid I may have placed one that has a little bit sticking off the side, because it just feels like these aren't laying exactly right. I've been so spoiled by the drills Time Art Club has now. They're so good. But anyway, I'm also, as school is just about to start, I am, as I often am when we're looking at a transition into a new phase, I'm just reflecting, feeling nostalgic. I'm looking back at the summer and just where we were at the beginning of the summer and where we are now. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened, in like personal life, like Adam's job situation and stuff, but at the same time there have been a lot of blessings that we've been able to just make the most of too. This past month in particular, it feels like it just has been really truly summer for us, where we've spent every single day we are either in the swimming pool or we are at Chuck E. Cheese. So there's like a Chuck E. Cheese summer pass that my mom had gotten for the kids at the beginning of the summer that we can go every single day, and they get, this many points that they can use, and it usually shakes out to around an hour of gameplay, and it gets the kids out of the house. They can go have some fun and run around and play games and stuff. And then swimming, I mean, this is the first summer that we've really just been able to have this kind of swimming experience, because Connor's been doing swim lessons, and we started out swim lessons this summer with it being really scary for him to feel like he could even put his face underwater. And now we're ending the summer less than 2 months of swim lessons later, and he is a little fish. He's swimming through the deep end. He's killing it. I'm so impressed and amazed by him. He went from dreading and being really anxious about his swim lessons, even though he had just the sweetest, most patient and understanding and kind swim teacher. He went from being anxious about going and dreading going to being like, I can't wait to go to swim lessons. I can't wait to show Mr. So-and-so like what swimming I've been working on at home this week and stuff. So that like makes my mom heart really happy. And it also just is like, okay, he's so comfortable in the water that now I'm not overwhelmed to take both kids to the pool. And even like, though Adam obviously can like come with me, it's like sometimes one of us will just take the kids to the pool and let the other one have a little breather at home, just to like rest or get things done. But it used to be that it was just both kids. We really needed one parent per kid for just safety and ease of mind and stuff. So now it feels like, okay, Connor is completely water safe and Micah is a lot more comfortable in the water. We'll probably try to do swim lessons with him next year would be my guess. We'll see. I was a little nervous to do swim lessons with him necessarily this year. I wanted to focus on Connor really. I felt like that was really important for him, and thought, well, then we'll focus on maybe Micah next year. But I've also been nervous about, because Micah's had a lot of problems with his ears. He had tubes put in his ears when he was a pretty young toddler. I'm trying to think, was he about 18 months old? I don't think he was 2 yet, but yeah, he had tubes in his ears, and even with tubes in his ears would still have some issues and other infections, and sometimes it would be brought on by going underwater. Adam has the same thing with his ears, so I think it's almost like an anatomical, like how their ear canals are or something. But I've been really, really relieved that hasn't proven to. Did I just hear a cat or a door open? I was like, is one of my kids awake? Oh, it's a cat. Okay, it's Skip. Here I'm going upstairs. Cute little chirp. I hope he's not trying to wake up Connor. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so now that I feel better about Micah going underwater and not having ear issues, now I feel like, okay, next year I'm not going to be worried about him doing swim lessons and going underwater as part of that. I'm not going to be worried about like ear infections or ear issues being a thing. So yeah, lots of things to be really grateful for, and to be just look back on summer fondly about. I'm a little nervous about this transition to a new school year, particularly with autistic kiddos, and as someone that is also their mom is autistic too. Transitions are hard. This is just kind of the name of the game. Is transitions can be it's difficult. It's a change. It's a new routine. It's new teachers, new friends that are in your class, and kind of getting back to more structure and whatnot. And so, we know how this goes and how it's gone in past years, and we're just ready to be flexible and supportive as much as we can. Usually the way that it tends to go is the first week or two, there's sort of the novelty of going back to school, and then we have a difficult, kind of moody week or two, And then everything tends to really settle and everyone's, feeling good and just we're, more used to it. Like, okay, now we're good. We feel comfortable and at ease and all's well. So we'll see though. I'm going to hope for the best. We're going to go tomorrow. We get to meet they're doing like meet and greets for kids that are in their own like special ed, like individual classrooms. Like Connor is mainstreamed now, but Mike is still in his own separate class. So we're gonna get to go take Micah tomorrow and meet his teachers, see the classroom. I think we'll go ahead and bring his school supplies with us. That way we don't have to add that to the things to bring on the first day of school in the morning. But I'm excited to meet his teacher and hoping that Connor also gets a teacher that is a good fit. We actually don't know whose teacher is going to be yet. It's funny the way our school district does it, and I know that there's others that do it this way too, but they don't tell you who your kid's teacher is going to be until like the evening before school starts. And they don't say as much, but I would lay even odds that it is in large part so that parents don't have time to try to fight with the school to get their kids moved to different teachers. I don't know how common a thing that would be. That's not something that would really be on my radar, but I also know that we have kind of a different circumstance, like with our kids. So I don't know. I kind of think that's a little bit funny. I don't remember there being like it being quite that last minute when I was growing up, but I could be remembering wrong. So we'll see who Connor's teacher ends up being, and I'm just hoping that it is a good fit and that it's going to be just setting him up for success for this year. And he had a couple of friends that he really had just developed these nice friendships with last year. And I'm really, really hoping that they end up in the same class again this year. That would be really, really, really nice. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I'll be finding out. If you're watching this the day that it goes up, I'll be finding out this evening. And yeah, so any of you that are parents or are, involved in working for a school or involved with school in some way, I hope that everything has gone smoothly on your end with back to school stuff. I know that it can be a little bit chaotic when things first start back. I know even just like the drop off and pickup situation is always a little bit of a chaos the first week or so, but thankfully like we walk, so it's not, we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I'm hoping we'll settle into a routine all around. I especially would love to be able to settle into a routine with how I use my time while the kids are at school. I feel like I will be able to maybe get some more done and just find a good balance with things. Even just running errands will be a little bit easier, and focus will be a little easier, but we'll see. Just one day at a time. Let's just focus on a good transition back into school to begin with in first day of school. Look at how this moon's turning out. You can. You could see some of the gapping from up there. Like this is a culprit spot. I have too much sitting on this canvas to really lift it up, but you can, that visible gapping. It doesn't look terrible in camera, but just when you're used to how Diamond Art Club's, here you can really see it too up here. When you're used to how Diamond Art Club's grid is now, I feel like it's a lot more obvious to me. And have you had that experience with, if you worked on like an older kit, just sort of a difference with either the drill quality or the grid? Be interested to hear. So what else is going on? We did have a birthday party for one of my nephews today, and we went to Chuck E. Cheese, which was great because we got to make use of our pass, and our pass incorporates like you get discounts on food and stuff, and so we were able to use that, like our family just used that to get pizza and stuff, and it worked out really, really well. The kids had a big time. We were there for a couple hours, and even my kids were like 2 hours of games. They were good to go. They were ready to go home after that point. We had a nice time. It was good to celebrate birthday and be around family. And all that good stuff. So I have been, this is something I was curious to kind of crowdsource thoughts on. So for any of you that, this could be kind of a specific set of circumstances maybe, but for any of you that deal with migraines that are specifically, they are triggered by various things like environmental or whatever, or hormones or whatever, I guess more in like environmental type triggers. Like I know that red meat is a migraine trigger for me. Alcohol is typically a migraine trigger for me. That, those kinds of things. I have been trying to, one of the things I did with my FinChap was to set myself up to remind myself to take daily multivitamin and an iron supplement because I'm pretty solidly anemic here. And while I'm waiting to have like a procedure done that'll help sort of deal with the cause of that, in the meantime, like it's an iron deficiency anemia, so I really should be taking iron to help with that. And so I thought I'm gonna get on it. There's some reasons that like this procedure might get delayed related to like insurance and stuff. So like, okay, but I still want to try to take care of my body and my health. So I was like, I'm gonna start taking my daily multivitamin, take a slow release, like iron supplements. Hopefully it's not gonna bother my stomach. I'm gonna be really careful to try to mitigate that. But what I noticed is that I was taking the multivitamin and the iron for a few days, and then I realized I was on the verge of a migraine for like 3 days straight, and I would take Advil to try to like nip it in the bud, or take something else to nip it in the bud. But then like the next day it would be back. And so I thought I have this association that this may have happened with in the past when I've tried to take this supplement. My stomach was fine, like I was able to mitigate that, but as far as like triggering a migraine, like there's not a whole lot I can do about that, except for trying to get iron from iron-rich foods or like cook with a cast iron skillet. Yes, I promise I've tried to do like the research and figure out like what are some other ways I can incorporate this. But I don't know. Yeah, so for any of you that have or deal with migraines, I've tried to take an iron supplement. Has that been a migraine trigger for you? It has occurred to me that it could be the multivitamin, but it just seems a little bit less likely. And I know this is what I need to do, is if I'm going to add something new in or try something new, I need to do it one thing at a time. That way, if there's a problem, I can pinpoint what it is instead of like, oh, well, I've added in 2 or 3 new things at a time, because I just get real gung-ho and I'm like, okay, let me start taking care of myself, taking care of business. And so I try to sometimes do it all at once, and then it sometimes doesn't work out well. So, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like the iron might be the culprit, and I need to go back to tracking my headaches and migraines more clearly too, so that I can track patterns with data and stuff. I'd mentioned, I bring this up again just because a couple people had responded the last time I mentioned this, like, oh, I hadn't heard of this. Thank you for mentioning it. But if you deal with migraines and you're looking to sort of try to keep track of them and be able to pinpoint potential triggers, or at least, get some data that you can share with your doctor, or potentially even like insurance if you're trying to get like an authorization for a particular medication or something. The app that my doctor recommended and I see widely recommended in kind of the migraine community sphere is called Migraine Buddy. It's at least the version I used. I didn't do any kind of paid version. So just to throw that out there for those of you that might be looking for or need something like that. Migraine Buddy is the name of it. I'm sure it's, if you look it up, it'll be the one that has, a million reviews and downloads and stuff. So, yeah, then as far as what I've been reading and watching and listening to, I have just like 2.5 hours left on the current book that I am on for the From Blood and Ash series. I believe it's book 4, and it's The War of Two Queens. And so I'm close to the end of that. I'll probably finish it either tonight or tomorrow, and then I'll probably go on into the 5th one. I didn't realize, because I thought, let me go ahead and look and see how many books are in this series, because I wanted to go ahead and try to use up my Audible credits so I can cancel my Audible subscription. I don't want to cancel it before I use the credits, because then you lose the credits, and I have like 5 that had built up, so I want to go use those. Anyway, I went to go look it up, and I didn't realize that the series, I had the misconception that it was complete. And then I see, oh no, she's releasing the 6th one in 2025, and then there's still a 7th one planned. So I was like, dang it. Like, I typically, like if I'm on Archive of Our Own or something, I almost never will read an incomplete work. Now, look, I totally understand the benefit of it, like encouraging the author and helping them like be motivated to write, give them that feedback and stuff. But I just have been burned too many times with authors not finishing a story or a series. Now, I know this is different. I know this is like a published author and not like a fan fiction, but I just go, dang it, like my rule of thumb is not to start a series that isn't finished yet. I mean, then again, I guess I've done that with like the Sarah J. Maas books, but you know, I'm like, she has a way of doing some of these cliffhangers. I just don't know how I'm going to feel about it. So we'll see how I feel once I get to the end of the books that are published. And then I know there's like a prequel series. So I don't, we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. But I just thought, dang it. I had in my head that this series was complete. And it turns out that I was incorrect. But anyway. And then watching, I haven't really been watching anything exciting. But I have thoughts I feel like I need to share based on something that my kids decided to watch. So Micah is handy with the TV remote now, and sometimes we'll pick things to watch. And he saw like the home screen of our TV was promoting like Happy Feet on the Tubi app, which is like a free streaming app. We just like watch an ad maybe or something, I can't remember. But anyway, it was like, oh, Happy Feet, cute little kids movie. And so we wanted to watch. I was like, oh, sure, why not? Tell me why I'm all of like 10 or 15 seconds into this movie and they're singing about like things that are very raunchy. And Adam hadn't seen it before either. And we kind of just turned and looked at each other and my eyes kind of went wide and I like kind of like looked at him like, did you hear this? And he kind of made the same face too. And I just was like, what is this? And so I thought maybe it's just like kind of the opening or whatever. Like, as a kid, we watched like the Shrek movies and stuff, and there can be, like a little bit of stuff. Maybe it'll be subtle humor, like the jokes that they sneak into Pixar movies. But it turns out that no, and I tend to not be too precious about things, but I appreciate the adult humor that's snuck into Pixar movies because I don't feel like it's over the top. I don't feel like it is making kids go, wait a second, that didn't sound right. Or something they're going to repeat or something. I don't know. This felt over the top to me. And I am like, I actively want to discourage my kids from watching this because it was raunchy. And I thought, this is Happy Feet. This is a movie about dancing penguins. What is happening right now? So and this is like an older movie, like what, 2006 or 2005 or something. So please let me know. If you're a parent or if you've seen this movie, did you think that it was a bit on the, not necessarily as kid-friendly side too? Because I was very, very taken aback. But so that, thoughts on that. And as far as what I've been listening to, I kind of in the same thread, I've had like Taylor Swift on in my car as usual, but I've had to really, like, Micah started reading the song titles as they pop up on the little like screen in my car, and like just a couple of like Taylor Swift's more recent albums, like she will occasionally have a song that has a swear word in it, and so I'm always trying to like check and anticipate and quickly skip forward. I'm also trying to remember, like a lot of times I'm trying to think ahead. Does the song have a swear word in it? I can't remember. And then skip it because my kids are listening. My kids are reading. And I don't need them repeating. I don't need Micah going into school and talking about what's vigilante-ish. Like, no, can't do that. And also just content things too. I'm trying to be aware of, like, even if there's not a swear word, like this isn't necessarily content. Like I don't know. I just want to feel okay about what my kids are hearing. But then aside from that, I have been still kind of on this kick with like video essay kind of commentary type channels, and that's continued to be fascinating. Adam has kind of gone down a little bit of like the true crime rabbit hole, and we were talking the other day about the differences. I was like, I can handle like true crime adjacent, but as soon as it gets into some of the like heavier stuff with like actual court cases or really kind of darker stuff that goes on, I tap out. That's not, I can't handle like virtually any kind of real true crime stuff. But like petty YouTuber drama, or like Jenny Nicholson doing a 4-hour video about like why the Star Wars hotel at Disney World failed, like I'll sign me up for that. Like that's fine, but actual true crime stuff, no, hard pass. But so that's, yeah, reading, watching, listening to. Let me know if you've had any fun things that you've been reading or watching or listening to. And then as far as what I have coming up this week, I think I should have a sneak peek for you guys from Diamond Art Club. I have a few kits piled up that I am gradually working my way through unboxing. I still am thinking if the timing works out, I would like to try to do a small shop haul soon. It has been a long time, and I feel like for several weeks I've been saying it in my videos, like maybe I'll do a small shop haul this week, and it hasn't happened, but I think I would like to try to get to that here soon if the timing is really right with other videos I'm going to be putting up. And like, I don't know, maybe a post review of this kit could be good. I don't know. We'll see. And then you'll have a Drills and Chills kickoff video coming too. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, we did a space emoji last week. How about an emoji that has the moon in it specifically? Because we have our moon that we've been working on, right? Or is that a planet in this jar? I feel like it's a moon. I know we're over the hour mark, but hold on a second. Moon or planet? I don't know. We're gonna go with we're gonna call it the moon, okay? Even if it's not. So a moon emoji, at least for the purposes of this video. So anyway, made a nice little dent, got through a good bit of the telescope and the moon here, and then I've been saving these like background space bits for last because then it's easier for me to differentiate between the two dark symbols that make up the two dark blue colors in the background. Yeah, so that's what ends up tending to happen. But thanks for spending some time with me today. Let me know in the comments how you're doing. Anything fun you'd like to share that you were working on or doing while we were chatting and catching up today. Let me know if you had feelings about happy feet. And I feel like there's something else I asked about that I'm kind of blanking on, but yeah, just looking forward to hearing what you guys have to, or reading what you guys have to say, and always appreciate that you spend these Monday mornings with me. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you here. And I'm gonna let you go. Have a day and a week that's as amazing as you are, my friends, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.